Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. In our first story, a knowing old lady put the wrong number in her speed dial and never corrected it. Having put a lot of stress on our OP, who had to become a burger joint employee for a while. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Want to order a burger from my house? Sure thing, lady. So this happened when I was around 13, 14 years old back in the early 2000s. So at the time, we just had our landline phone system recently installed. Back then, we couldn't just choose a number to have. You had to accept the one that the phone company assigned to you. We have 8 digits, and back then, the first 4 were used as identification of where in the city you were, so many people had similar numbers. Example, ours was 3933XPXZ, our neighbor was 393XXPZ, and of course, this always led to some confusion. Our phone happened to be 1 digit away from one of our nearby burger joints, so we had our fair share of wrong calls. They weren't frequent, so we didn't bother much and have 10-second talks like, "Person, is that from name of the place?" Me, "Nope, sorry you called wrong. The correct number is blank." Person, "Oh, sorry, thanks." So among those callers was AL. AL is a-hole lady. Now, AL started calling regularly on weekends at night. As soon as I picked up the phone, she always started to shout her order and would get mad when we said that she called the wrong number. For some reason, AL couldn't hold the information she was calling the wrong place because no matter what we said, she would always call in the next weekend doing it all again. We, of course, started to think it was some kind of prank because how can someone still keep calling after being told several times? This went by for a month or so. She wasn't calling the right place. So in order to know once and for all, I decided to wait her next call, and instead of telling she got the wrong place, I was just going to roll along with it. Next weekend comes by, I see AL number on the caller ID, and I pick up. Me, "Burger joint, good night, AL, "Oh, finally. I always try to call you guys and end up calling some a-hole person that never attends me right." Turns out, it was for real. Plus, the SOB never tried to call the right number we gave her. She thought I was an employee trying to somehow skip work. I was pretty mad, but I held up the anger and continued. Me, "We're sorry, AL. I hope he didn't cause too much trouble." AL, "I hope you fire them. That guy is just lazy and don't want to work right. Now, can you take my order?" Me, "Sure thing." AL goes along in describing a huge list of 5 types of burgers along with sodas, fries, and other stuff. During this, I was just punching randomly on the keyboard of my computer, pretending I was writing up her order. We wrap up with some fake price I pulled out of nowhere, and she asks, AL, "Now, how much time will it take you guys to deliver?" Me, 50 minutes. AL, "What? I can't wait that long. My kids are hungry." Me, "We're sorry, lady, we're kind of busy today, so I'll throw some extra free fries in for the inconvenience." AL, "Thank God. Finally, someone who knows how to satisfy a customer." I proceed to end the call and wait. 2 hours later, she calls again, fuming. Me, "Burger joint, go." AL, "This is absurd. I want to know why my order still didn't arrive." Me, "We're really sorry for this, AL. I will check to see what happened." AL, "You better. My kids are hungry." It was 9:30 p.m. when she called, so it was almost midnight. Proceed to stall for 5 minutes, making up some story of what happened. Me, "I've checked and it seems our delivery guy apparently stole your order for himself, so you're going to have to cancel it." AL, "How can you let that happen? I demand a refund." She, of course, never paid nothing. No idea what was her logic here. Me, "I'm sorry, lady. Due to that, we don't have more personnel to make the deliveries, so you're going to have to cancel yours." AL, "This is ridiculous. I hang up and proceed to ignore her further calls to the night. Fast forward another 4 weeks of peace, and surprise, surprise, here's AL's number on ID again. But this time, it's a male voice on the line with AL in the background. I listened the following. Guy, "So I called that burger place." AL, "Wait, you called?" Says name of the burger joint. Guy, "Yes, it was on speed dial." AL, "Hang up now. That's the worst place and..." Guy hangs up the phone, and I never heard of AL again. You should start calling her and tell her if she doesn't come pick up her order, you'll be forced to charge it to her card. And our second story. Neighbor thought to bully me. I convinced him it was a bad idea. In my country, if you work in a rural school, housing is often supplied. I was older, for a first-year teacher, late 20s. The apartment assigned to me wasn't going to work as I was to move in with another teacher who had fully furnished the apartment the year before and filled our storage shed, leaving me nowhere to put my 3-bedroom house worth of furniture. Much discussion with our housing committee before they reluctantly decided to put me in a tiny apartment on my own next to another teacher. They did warn me that there were reasons they tried not to put anyone beside him. I was still moving in when I met Precious Man, PM. PM informed me that he renovated cars, junk heaps, so he would have 3 of our car spaces and I could have 1, but I'd need to park on the street when he wanted to spray paint his cars, or it'd be my fault if my car accidentally got spray paint on it. He always told me to never report him for excess noise. He liked playing his music loud, and if I complained, I wouldn't like the consequences. Now, this might have worked with 22-year-olds moving out and starting their first job, and to be fair, I look at least 10 years younger than my age, so he might have thought he'd get away with it. I said, thanks for the info. Now here's what I'll do. I'll renovate old furniture, so I'll have my 2 car parks and you can have your 2. If you're spray painting, you better make sure to hang canvas walls, or you really won't like it if I accidentally get paint stripper on your cars when I'm stripping furniture. As to the music, I love most sorts, not his thrash metal, but you be respectful of me with your volume, and I'll be respectful of you. He didn't quite know how to take it. I made sure I put furniture I was working on in my middle carport. All seemed okay, possibly because I had a really big can of paint stripper sitting in prime position on my workbench. A few days after we started work, I come home to thrash metal, literally making my windows shake. Banged on his door. He answered with a smirk. "You'd better not report me or I'll make your life miserable," and slammed the door in my face. 2 can play that game. That weekend, I decided to go away. I carefully locked up my apartment, making sure all windows and doors were properly locked. I put a lock on my electrical fuse box, turned my stereo speakers to sit up against our shared wall, turned the volume up, and put on repeat a Pirates of Penzance opera CD my gran had given me. Got home late Sunday night. For some reason, it appeared he was watching out for me. I'd barely opened my door before he appeared and started yelling. I just looked at him, smirked, and said, "Anything you can do, I can do better. Want to keep playing?" And slammed the door in his face. He got his spray gun out once. I got my paint stripper out and mentioned how I tend to just slap it everywhere. He never spray painted anything. He tried the music again. I played Madam Butterfly, followed by some impromptu jazz. He reported me, but I'd already told the housing committee what I was doing. They thought it was hilarious payback after him bullying others for 3 years. He complained to my principal. I'd also given her heads up, and she didn't care. Helped that she loved me and barely tolerated him. Lesson: don't dish out what you can't hack giving back. For those wanting to know what happened next, he actually tucked his ego back in his pants and tried to be friends with me. I was polite, but made it clear we weren't ever going to be besties. The rest of the term went fairly smoothly. For those wondering, he decided teaching wasn't for him and went off into the sunset to make his millions mining. New neighbor and I got on great. This is amazing. I love it when people don't take crap and stand up to bullies. And our next story. Get your crap off my property. Not sure if it's relevant, but I'm 29. The new neighbors are probably in their early 30s, and my previous neighbor was 78. I allowed my neighbor to use my driveway roughly a year and a half ago to get to his yard to park his car on his back terrace. He had no fence there, and my backyard is fenced. After he asked me, he told me he was having trouble finding a parking spot on our busy street, and he was no longer able to walk bigger distances. I'd rather not allow anything like that most of the time, but we were always on good terms, and, well, it didn't really hurt me as I only had 1 car at the time, so it didn't need the extra space. He'd need to pass my car and get to his terrace. Just to be clear, from the back of my backyard in a straight line to the edge of my neighbor's house all the way to the sidewalk is mine. There's no right of passage, no shared ownership, it's all mine. Around 5 months ago, my neighbor moved out and went to live in assisted living. His daughter put his house up for sale, and that's as much as I know about that. I figured it would go back to how it was. My grandpa since gifted me his 2 motorcycles, which take up roughly the space of a car, and my girlfriend is over 5 out of 7 days, so the situation has changed in terms of space, and I utilized the full width of the driveway. The house was sold 3 months ago. Anyhow, I went on a holiday for about 3 weeks shortly after, and I come home to a bunch of cars and machines sitting in my driveway with a bunch of dudes building a garage where my neighbor's terrace was. It got really heated as I made all the construction guys and their stuff get the hell off my property, and later had a huge argument with the neighbors where they claimed they bought the house with the driveway and how half the driveway was theirs. I told them I had all my paperwork in order, but they can call the local council to have them send one of their dudes to measure it. After that, they quickly shifted gears, stating that they had right of passage because the previous owner had it. I told them I personally allowed him to temporarily use my driveway because of his age and walking issues. After a lot more cursing, I told them I was done talking, and the next time I see them park on my driveway, I'll have them towed and report them for trespassing. I ended up extending my fence out of petty spite, essentially blocking in their garage and closing the opening. They've been over several times trying to get me to agree to give them right away, offering to purchase part of the driveway and so forth. My girlfriend's been there since the start and has recently told me I'm being a bit of a jerk as the neighbors likely bought the place thinking they had right of way. So am I? Their line about, well, you let the old guy do it, tells me they did check the property lines and they knew exactly where they are. They were just relying on our OP's good nature. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.